I just wanted to do a quick little video on a few things. Um, the first thing is I had this dream where it only lasted like a second, maybe two, and it jolted me and woke me up. But it was kind of like down an elevator shaft, but it was really, really big. Like there was probably, say, 50 people all just kind of standing there. And all I could see at first was, their heads and their shoulders. Like there was no space in between them or anything. They were just all lined up. I didn't see any elevator doors or anything. They were just standing in this big square. And they didn't my dream didn't have any of the wires or anything. It was just kind of like this all the way around. So it happened so quick. It was like something like pulled me from my back really, really quick and shot me up the elevator shaft by my back. Like I was being pulled so quickly. And as I was being pulled away, the people down here that were with me, they weren't. I don't know if that was maybe a rapture dream, or it was very strange. I mean, it pulled me so quick by the back all the way up, and then I woke up because I felt jolted. Anyway, I just want to share that, and I want to share something. When I started watching Jonathan Kleck, that was in, I don't know, it was months and months ago, but I remember him talking about, up being like upside down, reversed, and he was getting into all that. And I remember going to bed that night, and I prayed, and I asked Jesus if this is true, if this is, if I'm not being misled or what have you, can you send me a sign that I'm on the right track, that this is the right track? Well, the very next morning, of course, my friend's son showed up at my door, and I didn't even know that he knew where I lived. This young man has autism, and I mean, I've been here 15 years. He's never showed up at my door. So he shows up at the door, and he says, he wanted to start learning how to paint, and he was wondering if I could give him some tips and help him with this thing that he wanted to do. And he said, I brought some that I've been practicing. And I said, oh, well, come on in and show me. So this is one of them. I almost fell on the floor just because I had prayed just the night before for a sign. And this is what the young man painted. And I said, well, Adam, that's his name. Adam, what made you paint a moose? And kind of upside down and reverse. He goes, well, I don't know. It just came in my head. He's a big believer, Adam. He's so cute. He prays every night. He talks to Jesus all the time, and just with this painting and the ones that he started doing. I mean, he did an up view of, say, like a roundabout with 4 different exits. And right in the center, it was the all-seeing eye. I said, well, is he watching the roads? And he said, no, he's watching the church over here and the house over there. And so he's explaining it. He painted an angel. What did the angel say now? Don't be afraid, or something like that. Like he's getting all kinds of messages from God, and he doesn't even realize it. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. That, you know, after I started watching Jonathan Gleck, I asked Jesus for a sign that I'm on the right path in following what he's saying, and this shows up the very next morning from someone who you would never expect to even show up at my door and start painting. Anyway, so about 2 months later, I woke up in the morning. I'm at my kitchen counter where the window is. I'm making a coffee. I'm not quite awake in my head yet. And I see something moving just outside the window. And I look up, and I took one step to the side, and there was a moose right in my laneway, right at my kitchen window. Now, I live in a small town. We don't even have a traffic light. I mean, we've had, over the last 50 years that I know of, we've had a couple bears in town, fox, a couple wolves. But I don't think and I live on the main street, so for there to be a moose in town, in my laneway, early in the morning, right at my kitchen window. I mean, he was probably 3 feet away from me. And so, of course, I stood there thinking, am I really seeing this? So once it registered what it was, I said, what the? Really loud, and it scared him. So he turned around and flew into the backyard. And here's a shot of him running through the yard. I mean, I had time to run and get my camera, run back through the house, and he was still in my yard. So I was lucky I got a shot. But I mean, really, what are the chances? And one more thing. I have been going through this video. I always get that dig deeper feeling. So I did. And it is full of 9/11 references and stuff. And I mean, this is an album that came out in 1988. They knew. And I'll prove it. In a part of the video, obviously, at 1:15, there's a water drop that falls, and it makes all these ripples. And I took probably 20 or more screenshots, and in one of them, of just this water drop, you have a 9 upside down, you have an 11, and you have 2, 0, 0, 1. They knew back then. There's your 9 that's upside down. And here's your 11. 2, 0, 0, 1. Now, they knew back then, but let's see, 1, 2, 3. Also in the drop, this is the progression. Okay, so there's this thing. Here's a neck and a body with 2. You'll see in the next one. And here's his head. And it's rising. So here's the first shot. Here's another shot. And there's another one with his wings. So there's that as well. There's all kinds of numbers and stuff in the other ones. I just haven't had time to really look into it. But this one here, I did not touch this screenshot. If you want to go check it out yourself, go ahead. r.e.m, their stand video at 1:15, and it goes quick. Like, you really have to be quick with the pause button. So, yep. 9/11, 2001. They knew. Threw it in our face. Right there. Well, I know we're supposed to pray for them. That's always been a hard thing for me to do. To pray for them, because we know where they're going. But lately I've been realizing that they're all being tricked as well. They're all being tricked. You know, all the promises that they were told that they were going to get, and I mean, like, all these people who pretend to be our politicians, the musicians, the actors and actresses and sports people and everything else that are part of this deception and have sold their soul. Can you imagine when the time comes? Do they really think that Satan is going to let them be happy where they're going? Like, do they not realize he's going to turn on them? He's going to be done using them, and he's going to turn on them. So that's been on my mind lately. You know, starting to pray for them. I don't know. We try. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And in my dream, I'm being pulled up super fast by, like, I felt it in my back, being pulled up. And then my little Jonathan Kleck sign that I got the very next morning. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. And maybe we could find it in ourselves to pray for the people who are sold their souls. They're in a whole heap of trouble. And I don't mean just by God. Satan's going to turn on them in a heartbeat. Okay, bye guys.